And welcome to everyone joining us. I can see people coming through, so we'll just wait a few more minutes before we get this presentation underway. Excellent. Here we're all coming through. So I'd like to take this time to introduce myself. I'm Samantha Martin, Marketing Manager of Reed Exhibition's mining portfolio comprising of AMEC, QME and WA Mining, and I'll be supporting today's presenters. Today's episode is part of a series of webinars that have been released covering a broad range of topics. We have also just launched the QME virtual seminar series, which is bringing some of the best sessions that were scheduled to take place during QME. Visit qmeexpo.com.au for more information on this agenda. Now, today's session is presented live and you will have the ability to submit questions via the chat box, and these questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. I am pleased to introduce today's speaker, Peter Heffernan. Peter Heffernan has over 38 years of mining industry experience. He has worked in a variety of roles ranging from heavy equipment operator through to FMS dispatcher and production supervisor. Currently a mining technology specialist with Hastings Deering, Peter has deployed more than 500 fatigue management systems throughout Queensland, NT and PNG regions across 11 mine sites. Peter has first-hand knowledge of how the CAT Minestar proximity awareness system can be used in conjunction with fatigue monitoring systems to enhance operator awareness and reduce the risks of collisions. I hope you enjoy today's session. Over to you, Peter.
Thank you, Samantha, and good afternoon. Thanks everyone for joining today's webinar. My name is Peter Heffernan from Hastings Deering. Today's presentation is about mining technology, in particular mining safety systems, and I'll be talking about how safety systems in mining can be used to provide awareness to machine operators for potential collisions and alerting operators when fatigued. So before we commence the presentation, I'd like to take this moment to ensure everyone's safety during this webinar. Wherever you happen to be joining us from, please note the following at your location. Make sure you have the ability to call emergency phone numbers via a desk or mobile phone. Be mindful of the location you are in. If you're at a desk or a meeting room, please make sure you have a clear path in the event of an evacuation. Please make sure you are familiar with evacuation alarms and assembly points. Be aware of your surroundings and make sure you've taken a moment to identify any hazards within your immediate vicinity. If driving, ensure hands-free systems are operational and if possible, pull over to a safe location. If you're in a public place, please be mindful of others and use a headset. In the event of emergency, please ensure that there is someone in your location able to respond. So today there's a lot of content to cover in this presentation, and I'll provide an overview on technology solutions to reduce incidences and accidents associated with human behaviour and fatigue. Firstly, we'll start with the Minestar capabilities and Hastings Deering technology services that are currently available. Then we'll go into the dump truck investigation findings. This will be a video I will show you very shortly on a collision incident that happened in the Hunter Valley. We'll talk about the CAT smart bands for managing fatigue, CAT driver safety systems or DSS, CAT fatigue risk assessments, and proximity awareness collision avoidance systems. So just a bit more on myself. As Samantha said, my name is Peter Heffernan. I've had 38 years in the open cut mining experience, ranging from an operator through to supervisor and dispatch specialist. So there's not much I haven't seen in the industry over the last 38 years. 20 years being in operations as an operator and the last 18 with mining technology. So for the last 3 years, I've been the application specialist for the technology solutions team. And in this time, I've been responsible for customer engagements for the Caterpillar Minestar technology safety systems and services. I've worked on a wide range of technology products and been involved in the deployments of fleet management systems, high precision GPS systems, autonomous haulage systems, CAT safety system deployments. So while deploying these systems are challenging Fully leveraging the capabilities of technology systems to improve operations and safety takes a lot of effort and discipline. And there's some case studies I'm about to show you through this presentation. So we have up here our Minestar offerings. So for those of you not familiar with Caterpillar's Minestar systems and services, I wanted to provide a brief overview. So this slide references the various Minestar systems and services available. So we have our fleet system, which is Caterpillar's fleet management systems, which with manual and auto assignment capabilities. Terrain, Caterpillar's high precision guidance system for drilling, grading and loading. Detect solutions, which assist operator visibility and awareness to improve safety. Command, which is Caterpillar's autonomous systems for hauling, drilling and dozing. And more recently, Caterpillar have released a new production recording system for loading and hauling operations. This is called Minestar Edge. We are currently in the final stages of the first deployment of Minestar Edge in Queensland. The second services we provide is under equipment management. So there is a Minestar Health application that interfaces with machines to provide equipment data. And our last services, Caterpillar also offer a range of services targeting improvements in safety, productivity, and alternative ways to provide technology solutions and job site solutions. A little bit on Hastings Deering. So they have had a long been a technology service provider to the Queensland mining industry. In 1973, Hastings Deering began providing fluid analysis services. Over time, Hastings Deering has continued to grow technology services to provide equipment reporting, and in more recent years has successfully deployed more than 25 Minestar systems throughout Queensland, PNG and the Northern Territory. As a result of this growth, we now have more than 2,500 connected Minestar assets in region and employ 39 technology specialists to support these systems. So what is Detect? So Detect is a suite of technology solutions for safety. The CAT Detect solutions, which are the driver safety systems or DSS, proximity awareness solution or PAV2X. So V2X being vehicle to anything. They're two key ingredients to reduce risk and minimize the instances at mining sites around the world. But firstly, I will show you an incident that happened at the Bulga coal mine in the Hunter Valley on July 23, 2018.
At about 3:30 a.m. on 23rd of July 2018, a mine worker was driving an unloaded Caterpillar dump truck along a haul road at the Bulga open cut mine towards an intersection. The road and the intersection were not illuminated. The driver saw a grader, another dump truck, and a water cart at the intersection. The driver stopped to give way to the other vehicles in accordance with the mine's road rules. Another mine worker was driving a second unloaded Caterpillar dump truck along the same haul road. He noticed that the truck ahead was coming to a stop. The driver lifted his foot from the accelerator to allow his truck to slow with the intention of stopping behind the truck. At that time, the driver of the truck became unresponsive as a result of a microsleep or medical condition. The truck collided with the rear of the stopped truck. At the time of the collision, the truck was traveling at 41 kilometers per hour. The force of the collision moved the stopped truck forward about 20 meters. An emergency response was activated. The driver was trapped with his right foot twisted between the brake and accelerator pedals. Once freed from the cabin, an elevated work platform was used to lower the driver to the ground, and he was transported to hospital by ambulance. He suffered a fractured tibia, laceration to right eye, and minor cuts and bruises. Following the incident, the mine operator installed a real-time fatigue monitoring system in their heavy vehicle fleet, strengthened their risk controls associated with worker fatigue, and engaged with the worker regarding his fatigue-related events. It is recommended that mine operators and contractors implement strategies to eliminate or minimize risks associated with fatigue, implement real-time fatigue monitoring systems, implement systems to encourage workers to self-report fatigue and medical conditions, engage with workers about the effective management of fatigue and medical conditions, review roster cycles, install proximity detection and collision avoidance systems on mobile plant. It is recommended that workers report to their supervisors when they are fatigued and avoid undertaking high-risk tasks. Report any medical condition that may affect their level of fatigue and work with their employer to implement effective risk control measures. For more information and to see the full report, visit our website.
So this was a significant incident which impacted the entire site, and later on during this presentation I'll detail to you a scenario which actually happened to me while I was working on another mine site overseas. But I'll go into that a little bit later, but that's a significant incident, and it's horrendous to the people on site that witnessed that. In the incident findings recommended that the following key safety systems be put in place: real-time fatigue monitoring system, real-time proximity awareness system. So CAT Safety Solutions can provide the necessary solutions that will greatly improve fatigue awareness and intervention. Also provide real-time proximity awareness for operators. So let's talk a little bit on fatigue in the workplace. Fatigue is hard to detect and even harder to predict and even harder for someone to put their hand up and admit it. But the one common thing that with fatigue is that everyone experiences it regardless of the role or the time in the sector. Let's look in detail on the CAT safety solutions now available to assist in managing fatigue and assisting operators in their daily roles to safely go home at the end of every shift. So let me ask you these questions. Have you ever been curious about how well you sleep of a night or day? Have you ever wondered about the impact sleep has on your performance at work? Prior to attending work, we all need to be in the best possible shape, setting yourself up for success by getting sound sleep and eating properly. What can we do to assist us in knowing if we are fatigued or not and predicting your fatigue level? What we have is the CAT Smart Band, one of our detect solutions. So this is a durable wrist-worn device that collects data providing scientifically validated sleep and fatigue analytics. This technology leverages decades of US military research in sleep, fatigue, human performance, and was developed to help make a go or no-go decisions for critical US military missions. It uses a sophisticated algorithm to track movement and activity to calculate data. The CAT Smart Band is 93% accurate as compared to an EEG and uses that to compute an effectiveness score, which I'll go through shortly. So what this Smart Band does, it measures your sleep quality and quantity, detects your sleep and wake pattern, generates an effectiveness alertness score, predicts your times of greatest fatigue, compares your sleep and blood to blood alcohol equivalents. So if we look at the slide, we can see our Smart Band there, which you wear on your wrists. Then we have our phone app, which the smartphone syncs to the phone app on a regular basis and provides the data. So you can see there in the center picture of the iPhone with the 84%. So the wearer of this Smart Band has an 84% alertness score, which is pretty good, and it's up in the green, so that's great. So if you can see here, you can see the prediction timeline happening on the left of that 84% iPhone picture. You can see it start to tip down here in 3 hours time. They're approaching the red level, which is around 70% alertness. 70% alertness is equivalent to 0.05 blood alcohol level. So we all know what that significant figure means. So we shouldn't be driving cars at 0.05. So this system will predict when you are going to hit that 70% level and alert you. So you can see here on our last picture of the application down the bottom in the orange here, you can see the wearer of this band had significant sleep there, but woke up for a period of time, then went back to sleep and had a rollover, probably left to right or right to left or whatever the case may be, then woke up again, then got some more sleep for the end of the day. The app will also show you by day and the amount of hours or quality sleep you have per day, and that will give you a report at the end of the month, individual report solely to yourself on your sleep patterns and sleep effectiveness for that month. So now I'd like to talk about the driver safety system, which is another solution in our Detect range of products. So starting my career, this is a bit of personal information about myself. I actually started as the old humble truck driver. I spent 13 years solid on night shift, and that was well back before multi-skilling came into the industry, where you only could drive one machine and that was it. So 13 years driving a truck was pretty horrendous, but I can't tell you how many times I was fatigued, how many times I had microsleeps. I even had forgotten where I was on the mine side due to fatigue. I was at the dig unit and I actually thought I was at the dump. So I lifted the tray while I was getting loaded. That's what fatigue done to me. And that's pretty horrendous when you think back on what happened. So I've seen multiple instances involving fatigue that have resulted in operator injury and equipment damage. But if only, what can I say? If only we had that technology back then we have now to assist operators in managing fatigue and warning of when a microsleep occurs. So in saying that, what does fatigue look like? Has anyone seen fatigue? How is safety impacted by the fatigued operator? I'm now going to show you a fatigued operator looks like, what a fatigued operator looks like. And I've got to say this, ashamedly, I have been in the same position many years ago, and looking back on that, it is something I would not do again. So this is real footage of a fatigue event from the driver safety system that is running in silent mode. Silent mode means the system is activated, but is not alerting the operator. So we'll show you this video, and it's quite eye-opening, and I'll get you to look while the video is playing. Look down in the right-hand corner as well, and just have a look at the amount of time this fatigued operator is not alert. So as you can see down the bottom right-hand side, we're up to 15 seconds, 16 seconds. This operator is driving a 240-ton truck, fully loaded, down the haul road. I would not like to be coming the other way in a light vehicle or another truck. That's a pretty horrendous slide, and it's an eye-opener to everybody out there that operates machines, particularly haul trucks, which is a monotonous task, and fatigue does happen. But now we can minimize that and assist operators in knowing when they're fatigued and raising their hand. And also we have a system that will alert the operator when they do have these type of events. So an example I want to give to you back in the day when I was on a truck. So there was an incident at the mine I was working on. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, and a 992 loader was on a dump pushing waste material over the dump. The loader driver decided to drive from the right-hand side of the dump to the left-hand side of the dump. Unbeknownst to the loader operator, a 170-ton loaded haul truck began entering the dump, which had a 3% downgrade. The operator of the haul truck had a fatigue event, as we just saw in this video, and ploughed directly into the 992 loader side on. This resulted in unfortunate injury to the loader operator and significant damage and downtime to both pieces of equipment. The next two Detect solutions I'm about to detail would have been instrumental in preventing these incidences. So DSS, firstly, the driver safety system, which is a proactive solution that scans the eyes, nose, mouth, and jowls of an operator. As you can see in the slide with the yellow reference points, the control module uses this information to determine if the operator is fatigued, yawning, or having a microsleep. So we can see here on the slide the yellow points around the eyes, nose, mouth that the scanner sensor is actually looking for. It's looking for nothing else except for those points there. So this picture here represents the sensor, which is placed in the cab, pointing at the operator to pick up these reference points around the operator's face. So the DSS system delivers information on alerts on three main types of events. These events being fatigue events. So when a microsleep is detected, the system will provide an audible alert and the operator's seat will vibrate. That's correct, the seat will shake and wake the operator. Eye closure events which trigger the seat vibration are usually greater than 1.5 seconds. So your eyes need to be closed for 1.5 seconds or more. And the ground speed of the machine is above the threshold parameter set during installation. So the speed is determined via site and Caterpillar recommendations, and that is set into the machine during installation. The data is then packaged on board and sent to the USA CAT safety team, who then determine if the event was a false positive. If the positive eye closure event has occurred, so the CAT team, again, they determine whether it's a false or positive event. So if it's a positive eye closure event has occurred, the CAT safety team will notify that particular site supervisor according to the fatigue intervention plan, which is created during the first initial setup of the DSS system and the management team. So this could be from a simple discussion to having the operator swapped out and arrested. So when the fatigue intervention plan takes place, supervisor can talk to the operator, see what their fatigue levels are like, see how they're going, give them a cup of coffee, swap them out, put them on a shorter run, give them an early crib break. And that's all part of the fatigue management plan that is wrapped up inside the DSS. So our second event type is distraction events. So distractions occur mostly when the operator is looking elsewhere other than straight ahead. As you can see in the picture there, the operator will look to the left, our right. So when this happens and it's greater than 5 seconds, so if the operator is not focusing on the road ahead for 5 seconds or more, the system, depending how it's configured, will either vibrate the seat or an audible alert will alert the operator to put their eyes back on the road ahead. So these parameters are all set up during install and configured with the Safety Solutions team and mine management for the correct parameter settings used during install. Our third event is field of view exceptions, what we call field of view, FOV. So these occur when the sensor cannot effectively track an operator's facial points, as we described earlier on with the dot points around the eyes, nose and mouth. So this usually occurs when the operator has moved out of the field of view. So they may be leaning over to the left of the seat while they're driving with their elbow on the window, and the sensor just can't see the eyes or nose or mouth. Or the sensor has been tampered with or covered over. So the site is alerted via email to rectify this issue. So this is usually for about a 10-minute period. So if a sensor can't track the eyes or nose or mouth in a 10-minute period, an email will be sent to site to alert them that there is an issue with that machine and to go and have a look at it. So in saying that, that's the CAT DSS. And what we have here, part of the DSS and the smart band, which we just went through, both those solutions, we put them together to collect data for a fatigue risk assessment. So as you can see up here on the slide is a event data from a site that had DSS installed. So what we can see here, a fatigue risk assessment is usually spanned over a 90-day period. So the first 30 days, the DSS is installed, but it's running in silent mode. So the system is capturing data for baseline, but doesn't alert the operator if there's any events. So we can see here in the first 30 days on the slide, quite a significant amount of fatigue events for this particular site. And on day 30, we initiated the operator alert. So the seat vibration and the in-cab audible alert were activated. So you can see here from day 30 to day 60, a significant drop in the amount of events almost instantly. That number of account dropped straight down. But you will see here the count started to creep back up again towards the end of the 60 days, around day 50, down 45, day 50. Operators were starting to get used to the system, getting used to the vibrating alert, waking them up. So on stage 3 of a fatigue risk assessment, what we do is then we bring in the CAT USA team into the picture. So what these people do is when they filter the data looking for false or positive events, when the positive event happens on day 90 of the fatigue risk assessment, CAT rings site. They ring the nominator supervisor for each shift according to the customer requirement document that we send out to site, and the fatigue intervention plan document. So CAT has all this information in the USA, and they ring site to ask the site supervisor or site contact to initiate the fatigue management plan on that operator. So if the operator has had, say, 2 fatigue events in a short period of time, they will ring site, and the supervisor or designated person from that site will go and talk to that operator, or as we spoke before, they will rest them, give them a coffee, swap them out, to make sure they manage the fatigue so everyone can go home safely at the end of the shift. So sitting in a truck, I don't know whether everyone listening has ever sat in a haul truck before, but if you look at this current slide, the blue areas represent what visibility an operator has in a haul truck. The grey areas are the areas that the operator is blind and just cannot see. So there's a lot of areas around a big machine that's blind. So what if you could increase awareness from the operator from this, which is to this? So what we have now is 360-degree awareness around the machine. A machine for an operator. It doesn't have to be specifically a haul truck. It can be a dozer, it can be a light vehicle, it can be a grader, it can be a water cart, it can be an excavator, it can be a loader. So they're all the machines this next solution can fit on quite easily and start assisting the operators with proximity awareness and knowing what's happening around their machine. So proximity awareness, so that's another solution, CAT Detect suite of products. So it uses the V2X solution, which is V for vehicle, 2 and X for any machine. So V2X, vehicle to anything. So that's the solution we use, called proximity awareness. Over many years I've been in this industry, I've seen multiple incidents involving equipment running over light vehicles, lighting plants, or reversing other equipment. It happens quite regularly on mine sites all around the world. So this next story I'm about to tell you is an actual real event that happened to me while I was working in the Middle East in a country called Jordan. I was production manager of a phosphate mine over there. And we were short a couple of trucks, so I rang up our sister pit, which is 5 kilometres away, and said, "Hey guys, can you send us over 2 trucks and a couple of operators?" Which they did. So we worked those people during the day, and as you would, and we called them on the 2 and said, "You need to, head back home. It's getting near knock-off time." So these 2 operators decided to take a shortcut. Instead of following a designated haul road, they decided to go across the desert quicker, cut about 2 kilometres off the path, which is 4 minutes of time. So they decided to do a risk to save them 4 minutes of time, and the end of the story is not very pleasant. So what happened, the lead truck was going across the desert, the second truck was following. Of course, the lead truck was kicking up a lot of dust. The lead truck saw a big washout in front of them, so they basically hit the brakes on the truck, and the second truck following didn't see the first truck hit the brakes and ran straight up the back of the first truck. And I got to be honest here, like being in this position on the mine site and with the other managers on the mine site, we had to go to this young man's family, and the guy in the second truck was 21 years of age. And we had to tell his family that he's not coming home, because that was a fatality, and it was not nice to see. It was not nice to participate in. So This next solution I'm about to present is would have been significant in avoiding this incident that happened. I can't say much more on that because it still hurts to this day to remember what happened over there. So fortunately, now we can have a technology solution that can greatly minimise this risk, thus saving in lost production and equipment downtime and possible injury or death. So proximity awareness solution is the latest technology released by CAT to assist operators in identifying potential collisions with other machinery, light vehicles or plant fitted with a PAV2X solution. So it's not just for haul trucks. As I said before, it's for every type of equipment or machine that's out there. So the proximity detect awareness solution is able to provide operators with real-time awareness for any plant, equipment or light vehicles fitted with a proximity awareness solution. With Bluetooth capability and a range of 300 meters line of sight, using the vehicle to anything peer-to-peer technology reduces the need for a robust site network and provides the operator an advanced visual and audible warning of pending collisions. As you can see, the operator now has a 360-degree awareness of his or her surroundings. Detect proximity awareness solution uses technology very similar to what is used in the autonomous haulage systems. So the solution projects to the operator but based on speed and direction a path. So this visible path will pop up on the operator's screen if the system believes there's a potential collision going to happen with another proximity awareness instrumented machine, vehicle or plant has been identified. Both proximity awareness equipped vehicles will be alerted simultaneously and they will have a visual on their screen. So they will see where the other vehicle is and they'll see their projected path line and they'll see where it intersects with an oncoming vehicle, either straight ahead or to the left or to the right, or even someone behind them for that matter. So in saying that, this is a video on
speed limits can be defined at the site, machine class, and zone level. When a machine exceeds the specified limit, an alarm is sounded in the cab, an icon is displayed in the status view area, and an event is recorded in the office. All sites have standard operating procedures for following other machines. When one machine follows another too closely, both operators receive an alarm. Operators know how difficult it is to see light vehicles, especially when they're partially obscured at an intersection. Notice how the berm, tree, and truck railings all obscure the operator's vision. Proximity awareness can notify the haul truck operator of the light vehicle before they ever see it via peer-to-peer communications. Many sites use dozers to spot trucks at the dumps. The machines come in very close proximity, allowing the truck operator to see the dozer operator's signal to stop. Proximity awareness alerts the haul truck driver if they're heading towards or coming too close to the dozer through peer-to-peer communications. Light vehicles passing machines on a haul road is a common occurrence. Proximity awareness promotes safe behavior by alarming both operators when the light vehicle does not follow standard procedure and gets too close when passing. Avoidance zones can be defined in the office to alert or warn operators before entering a restricted area. Here, a haul truck driver drives through a do not enter sign into an area not meant for haul trucks.
So that's a little bit on proximity awareness, the V2X solution. So as you saw, both vehicles are alerted if there's a potential collision. Also, as we saw, you can put into the system hazard areas. So if a machine or vehicle goes into that area they shouldn't be in, it will alert them on the screen. We can put in speed limits as well. So if there's speed limits on a particular piece of road, the system will alert the operator that they are speeding as well. So it's a very, very good system, and I just wish that we had this system years ago. I'm looking forward to this system. So a bit of a conclusion just on what I've shown you in the last 30 minutes. So then to summarise the presentation, I've previewed the CAT Smart Band, the driver safety system, fatigue risk assessment and proximity awareness solutions that are now available, and how these solutions can greatly assist in fatigue management and day-to-day operations. Some key points Industry regulators have recommended that sites use fatigue monitoring and collision avoidance systems. So fatigue monitoring, we have in excess of 500 plus units up here of the driver safety system in the Queensland and Northern Territory and PNG areas. So that's very good. Professional resources with specialist industry skills exist for supporting sites to successfully introduce fatigue and collision avoidance systems. Fatigue, distraction and collision avoidance systems are a low cost compared to a cost of an incident. Current systems do not require large-scale network infrastructure. Cellular and wireless access points options are available. Systems have a critical mass and are commonly used in industry. These technologies prevent serious injuries and fatalities. So that is the end of today's presentation. I'd like to hand back to Samantha for question and answer time to wrap up the webinar.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Peter. We've got some a lot of questions that have come through. We've also got a few other people from Cat and Hastings who are on the line as well, who might be able to answer questions if Peter can't. So, look, I'm going to get started on these questions, and we've got quite a few from Janine, but I'll kind of work through as we have them. So Janine's first question is, has the design of the truck been altered to eliminate the tail impact on cabin, perhaps putting the driver location at a lower or higher perspective?
That's probably something I'm not able to answer because it's not my area of expertise. We probably need to refer to a Caterpillar or a manufacturing expert in their truck design, all truck design, for an answer for that one.
So Peter, Ben Hicks here, can you guys hear me from Caterpillar?
Yep.
I can probably answer part of that. So it's quite a difficult problem to solve, just in all the different heights of different trucks on sites, because every truck's different height and the cabin's a different height. So it's difficult to totally alleviate. But we are working on what we're calling the next gen cab design at the moment, which is due to be completed fairly shortly in the next sort of 6 or 12 months, I believe. And that design of that cab is obviously taken all the latest safety precautions, and it is being designed to be a lot safer than the current cabs in our vehicles.
Yeah, that makes sense. We've got a question here from Craig, so thank you, Craig. It says, what differentiates CAT DSS from SmartCap, OptAlert, GuardVant, and other fatigue management systems?
Well, the CAT DSS, it's proactive, so it as we said, as a microsleep happens or an eye closure event happens, it instantly alerts the operator, shakes the seat, vibrates the seat, wakes the operator up, collects detailed data to send off to management so they can see how many events they've had, the duration, by truck number. No operator name is identified in all this, it's just a truck number. And the key to the driver safety system is it's proactive, extremely proactive. So, and it will awaken the operator with this via the seat vibration.
Okay, so Craig's also got another question. It says, is the CAT DSS a leading or lagging indicator of alertness?
I believe it'd be a leading indicator of alertness because the system also looks not only for eye closure, but it's looking for yawning, it's looking for fatigue, and that information is sent through to management as per the fatigue intervention plan that's set up with sites. So it's not just micro sleeps it reports on. So if an operator is continually yawning, the system looks at that and reports on that as well. So management can get the data on that and emails. To make an informed judgment decision on that.
So Peter, can I just chime in there as well? So a couple of the differences with some of our competitor products. The Caterpillar DSS system does not require any interaction from the operator. When anyone gets in and starts driving the vehicle, it's instantly monitoring that person. The person doesn't need to wear, or the operator doesn't need to wear any device, any hat or glassware. It's just monitoring the operator of that vehicle, no matter who they are or what they're wearing. So there's no interaction. The operator doesn't need to log in and tell them that they're in the vehicle and operating it. It just works with whoever's driving it.
guess this leads into a good question that Janine put forward. It says, how well has the tech been tested for gender and race recognition so that false occurrences don't happen?
Well, the DSS system, as I spoke about in the presentation, only looks at the eyes, nose, mouth, and jowl area. It doesn't matter what sex the operator is. It's not looking for that at all. All it's looking for those reference points on the face. So it doesn't matter what nationality you are and what sex you are. It doesn't even look at any of that.
So it doesn't matter on the spacing. It just automatically kind of determines, okay, well, this does its measurements and takes that into account as its kind of baseline.
Yeah, correct. So it learns as it goes on the facial points, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the system can tell over a period of time if for example, the bottom jaw is starting to drop, which is the first indicator of a fatigue operator. So, as I said, it doesn't matter whether it's male or female, what nationality you're from. It doesn't discriminate any of that. It's just looking for those specific points around the face
that are unique to your face.
Correct.
Excellent. Okay. So Janine's got another question here. She says the technology is good, but what controls for data storage without tampering has been installed? Hacking to blame employees rather than the other cause could happen if not due to governance. So I guess, how's the data protected?
Oh, Ben, you might be better answering that one because Ben Hicks from Caterpillar, he's been working on that the last year or so, specifically with a couple of clients.
So on the DSS system and on the CAT systems, the data is fully encrypted on our systems, like in the truck, as well as while they're communicated from offboarded off that particular device on the truck or the vehicle, all the way up to the cloud-based storage and encrypted. So an operator is not able to get access to any of the systems on board to manipulate or tamper with them or remove any events that they occur or instigate. So yeah, it's all encrypted. The same as if anyone was to get that device and take it out of the truck and try to hack it afterwards, it's all encrypted and they can't get into it and modify any of it that way.
Excellent. Has audio interaction been considered where technology talks to the operator explaining the problem with suggested responses to take? So obviously with the process in place of, when a fatigue incident happens, is there two-way communication or how does that work?
I think this was in relation to the PA, the position awareness product.
Possibly. Just, when a fatigue incident happens, obviously that's when the processes and protocols get put in place. So I guess I'm assuming Janine's question is, does base talk to operator to make them aware of it, that they're having a fatigue incident?
So with the DSS system, we can put in any audio alerts depending on the type of event that they get, between a sort of fatigue or eye closure event or a distraction event or FOV. So we can change the audio that's played in the cab with that. And then with the intervention plan and the phone calls through to site and notifying management about that event, that obviously occurs, and then it's up to site on how they handle those. With PA, maybe a little bit better to be able to deal with this, but I think, it could be configured depending on the type of event that's being occurring.
Yeah, that's right. Like proximity awareness too. Like to give an example, Samantha, if a truck goes onto a dump that's got a slumping dump edge, it might have had a lot of rain. You could put a hazard on around that dump with an entry notification, I guess you could say. So when a machine enters this area, it'll pop up on the screen saying dump, do not use this dump, or dump slumping, please, and they'll get that whatever message site wants to set up on their screens. And another example, if they are tipping short on a dump, where we normally do that when the dump's cracking, we tip 5 to 10 metres short. So you could put an entry message onto a dump that says tip 10 metres short. So the operator, in saying that, the operator doesn't answer back to that notice on the screen. It's just a visual notice on the screen. There's no the only audible alert they will hear on the proximity awareness is the beeping when they get to within a certain distance of another equipped PA-V2X machine or equipment. With the DSS, as Ben said, the operator is alerted by audio as well as the vibrating seat. So the audio is non-responsive to the operator. The operator can't talk back to the audio. So, and as Ben said, we can define the audio to whatever side really wants it to say, but there's no interaction between the operator and the audio, so to speak, as in communications.
Okay. Craig's put through another question and asked, does the PAVX provide a solution for detecting / alerting a mine worker on the ground in the high risk area of HME?
No, the V2X, the proximity awareness is basically machine based. So, so it can be equipped machine to machine, machine to light vehicle, machine to lighting plant, basically anything that has the proximity awareness solution bolted to it, it will alert both operators or multiple operators if anything looks like it's going to be a collision. So it can be put on, for argument's sake, it can be put on at a mine wash plant. It can be put on their workshop, if you want to use that as an example.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, but that's not generally how we use it. It's basically on machine to machine, machine to light vehicles, machine to lighting plants, pumps is another good one. Can be bottled on pumps, particularly lighting plants because they get moved around a lot as well. So operators can know where they are as they reverse onto a dump.
So what technologies does... Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
just to address that really quickly, we do have another product which is in development. I think it's not too far away, called Connected Worker, that will provide that sort of mine worker. It's in a hard hats that the worker will wear, and it will have awareness of where it is and what's around it, and then be able to communicate. But yeah, that's in the pipeline for not too far away.
So what technology does PAVX use? GPS, radar?
No, VTX uses Bluetooth capability, so it's got the 300 meter radius, I guess you could say. Peer-to-peer, each unit talks to each other with the 300 meter line of sight with the Bluetooth. So there's no radar. That's CAT has another product called object detection, which uses radar and cameras as well.
And I guess I've got one more question. So if anybody else has got any questions out there, we're close to wrapping it up. But I guess with the smart bands, is the data reviewed before an employee starts their shift? So you're aware of I guess, their fatigue levels? Is that how that process has worked? Well,
the employers wearing a smart band have the app on their smartphone, so they can pull that app up and sync the smart band to the app and get a current score of their fatigue level.
So is that something that's checked before their shift, or is that on the employee to kind of be aware of what their fatigue levels are before they start their shift?
Yes, the employee can be aware of their fatigue levels, but also what we can do is set up a station, if you want to call it a station. So when someone goes to work and they go to the crib area or the must area at the start of the shift for their team tour, the smartphone syncs to a tablet. As they go through it, connects to the tablet and syncs the data, uploads the data onto the tablet, so management can actually see the fatigue alertness score of individuals.
Oh, wow. Excellent. I think that's you're off the hook now, Peter. I think that all the questions have been answered. We had a lot come through, so thank you everybody for joining us today. Just a reminder that again we've got the QME virtual seminar series that we've just launched today. So we've got 3 more really interesting sessions scheduled over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you check out on the website. But thanks everyone for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
See ya.